Visit CCGCastle.com and get 5% discount on your purchase with TCG Center 5 code. Check the description or visit CCG Castle for more. Hello and welcome back to Pokemon TCG Center. Today we'll be looking at deck for the expanded format, and it's my Donphan Evolution deck that I actually made for the expanded, just to be able to attack pretty much everyone with the spinning turn for a weakness. So basically, I can attack Darkness Pokemon like a Darkrai with a spinning turn for the weakness. With Jolteon on the bench, I can actually attack Eevolutions for the weakness, Lugias for the weakness, Mega Rayquazas for the weakness. With the Flareon, I can shut down those Mega Sceptiles, for example. And of course, with the Leafeon, I can respond to Seismitoad EXs and Keldeos, because with the Energy Crush, I can actually does 20 damage times the amount of energy attached to all of my opponent Pokemons in play. So isn't that very interesting? So 15 Pokemons, 38 trainer cards, and only 7 energies, which is 60 cards as usual. So let's take a look for the Pokemons. The main attacker, of course, it's a Donphan. So I'm running 4 Phanphys and 3 Donphans with the spinning turn. I didn't decide to go with the 4 Donphans because I guess 2 Donphans on your bench is more than enough to have, because you just want to have one of your evolutions to help you, and of course space for Robo Substitute, and just in case you need to play Stellar Guardian's Jirachi EX. 3 copies of Eevee. I decided to go with Sign of Evolution because they have 60 HP. They can allow me to search my deck for 3 different evolutions that evolve from the Eevee. But of course, there's no point of playing Eevee with the ability that actually allows you to search your deck for evolution of the energy type you attached, because I actually play just fighting energies. 1 Leafeon with Energy Crush, as I mentioned earlier, who can help me to counter those Seismitoad and Keldeos. Flareon for those grass weakness Pokemons, and Jolteon for those Lugias EXs, but also those Eevutalls, who are actually very popular. 2 Jirachi with the Stellar Guardians, who can actually help me to find pretty much any supporter card that I actually need with just a single level ball. So yeah, I can pretty much choose between a lot of different supporter cards. As you can see, I'm running like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different supporter cards like Xerosic, T-Maze, Juniper, N, Lysander, Hex, Colress, and AZ, so very interesting. From item cards, I decided to play with one of my Battle Compressors. Battle Compressor definitely a good card, especially for this kind of deck, because it can help me to discard any kind of 3 cards from my deck into my discard pile. So with the Battle Compressor, I can discard a lot of my supporter cards that I actually don't need or actually want to use with my V-Seekers. So definitely a strong card, and I only play 1. A Computer Search is the A spec, so in expanded format you can play 1 A spec. So I decided to go with my Computer Search because it can actually help me to search my deck for any card. In order to do that, I need to discard 2 cards from my hand. Basically, that Computer Search can be any card that you can actually see right here. It can be supporter card, it can be Lysander, it can be Silver Bangle, it can be Verbank City, Robo Substitute, any card you actually need. I'm playing also 3 Hypnotoxic Lasers. Unfortunately, I cannot find space for the 4th one. I would like to play 4 because having 4 lasers in deck is always good. That laser can actually help you to buy some time, especially in the early game when you don't have your Donphan in play. But for example, with Laser and Verbank, you can dunk without attacking Pokemons like a Joltik. You can definitely, if you have just a spinning turn, hitting that Shaman, let's say, with just a single strong energy for 120. This is still just 100 because of the resistance, but with the laser it's 110. So you're pretty good and safe by knocking Shaman, for example, with just a single strong energy. But also it can help you a lot to finish other EXs like Eevutalls and stuff like that. 2 copies of Level Ball, also very good because it can actually help me to pick my Phanpy. But the most important thing, it allows me to draw my Jirachi for supporter card, but I can also take Eevee, Jolteon, or Flareon. I cannot unfortunately pick a Leafeon because it's 100 HP. 4 copies of Robo Substitute is a really big deal in this deck, because after you actually attack with your spinning turn for 40 or even more, depend, you can just easily retreat down to your Robo Substitute, putting into the active spot, and your opponent actually needs to knock him out. So when he knock out your Robo Substitute, after that he is not taking extra prize, but for example you can play Teammates for any 2 cards, and that's definitely a strong. Also, a single Super Road, which can help me to shuffle back any 3 Pokemons and basic energies from my Disco Pilot back into my deck. So that's very important because I'm running only 3 Donphans and only 7 energies. To be honest, this deck will also be even better after that new item card will be printed, which says that you can actually put any 2 special energies from your Disco Pilot back into your deck. So I really like that. 4 copies of Trainer's Mail, so you can actually look at the top 4 cards of your deck and reveal a trainer card you find there. I really like the idea of playing Trainer's Mail. It's definitely a good card, same as playing 4 Ultra Balls and 4 VS Seekers. I mean, with the Ultra Ball, you can search your deck for any kind of Pokemon. You can even take, I guess, Robosubstitute. I'm not sure. I guess you can take Robosubstitute. No, you cannot take Robosubstitute. Robosubstitute is, it's not able to take with it. Just with the Trainer's Mail, for example. My mistake. 4 V-Seekers who can allow you to take pretty much any of these 8 gorgeous supporter cards, so I'm waiting for the full art Hex Maniac to be printed. I'm not sure why they didn't do that yet. From supporter cards, of course, you need to have 1 copy of AZ. You just want to get rid of your Jirachi from play. Why? Because you don't want to give your opponent a chance to take 2 easy prizes. Single Colress also in Expanded is very good because when you have a huge bench, same as your opponent, you can actually play Colress for 10, maybe even 16. If your opponent has Skyfield and you and your opponent have like 8 more Pokemon, so that's 16 in total. A single Hex Maniac is always good to have. It can shut down those abilities like Trevenant Item Lock, like Jirachi or Shaming Setup. Definitely a good card. But it can also help you against Greninja, because playing against Greninja might be silly, I guess. Single Lysander, of course, 2 copies of N and 2 copies of Professor Juniper, which means that I have 5 drop supporters, including 1 Colress. A single Teammates, which can actually help you to search your deck for any 2 cards when you suffer the knockout, put them into your hand. 1 Xerosic, because I'm not playing any kind of Tool Scrapper or Stallion Megaphone, so I decided to roll with 1 Xerosic. It can also help me to discard any kind of tool or special energy attached to 1 Pokemon in play. So I guess Xerosic is actually Enhanced Hammer and Tool Scrapper in 1. And trust me, sometimes it's actually better to have 0-6 so you can discard your opponent's special energy instead of something like Starling Megaphone, because you just want to discard your opponent double Colress energy from Seismitoad or double Dragon for Giratina. 2 Verbing City Chimps, so you can have 3 damage counters instead of the 1 between turns on your opponent poison Pokemon. A single Muscle Band to increase damage for 20 to any Pokemon. A Silver Bangle to increase damage to 30 to those EXs. 4 Strong Energies who can also increase the damage for 20 more. And the 3 regular basic energies. So let's take a quick look for the Donphan attack. So with 1 Strong Energy you can hit for 60. With Silver Bangle you can hit for the 90. And with, for example, Jolteon in play you can hit for 180. Something like Evil Taliex, but since he's resistance, the fighting minus 20, that's going to be 160. But Hypnotoxic Laser is 10 more, which is 170. So you can actually one-hit the knockout, same as any other basic EX Pokemon in play. So I hope you guys like this deck list. I will try to play 1 quick game with this deck so you can actually see it in the action. If you're looking, of course, for any of these cards, as usual, you can find them on CCGCastle.com. If you're new to the store, you can get 5% discount on your purchase by typing TCG Center 5 code. That's a very important thing. But if you're an old customer, when you purchase something, you always receive a new code, so keep that in mind. So yeah, let's do some gameplay so you can actually see the deck in the action. Alright guys, so welcome to the game test for this Donphan Evolution deck for the expanded format. So I actually won the coin flip, that means that I can go first. So let's see how good or how bad this deck actually is. So I'm starting with my Phanpy in the active spot, have my Eevee for the bench, which is always good because I can actually choose between going with maybe Leafeon, going maybe with my Flareon or with my Jolteon. But I guess going against Night March is pretty much the same. What I'm going to do right here is I'm going to take one more Phanpy on my bench with my Level Ball. but I will also see what else I have in my deck. So I have pretty good amount of Jirachis. There's one Johnny Pearl left. There's an AZ, Lysander, Colress, Xeracic. Alright. I guess I don't want to play against Night March something like... I definitely don't want to play against Night March something like a Jirachi on my bench, because it's just easy to prize knockout for my opponent. So I guess I will search my deck for one more Phanpy, put it down to the bench so I can actually have 3 Phanphys on my bench, and we'll go with my Professor's Juniper for the 7. Not bad, not bad, not bad at all. That computer search is going to give me a access actually to the Verbing City Gym. That means that I can actually dunk my opponent Joltik, which is definitely awesome. I remember myself playing Night March in Expanded this year on Regional Championship, and I actually started with the Joltik for the top 8, and that was pretty much all that I had. And my opponent actually get that Hypnotoxic Laser in play, and he played like Shame in 1 setup, Shame in 2 setups, Jirachi, and after that he goes with the Colress. I can't remember how many card that was, like a 6 or 7, still can't remember. He played also that Verbing City, and he was looking for that Verbing City Gym, and he actually managed to find it with the last card he was drawn, and he dunked my Joltik on his turn 1 because he was first. And that's very creepy when you manage to play against something like that. So, never mind. There's a Battle Compressor for my opponent. I already take a first prize, which is definitely a good sign. As long as I can have as many of my Robo Substitutes in play, I'm definitely happy with that. So there's a big N from my opponent. That means that I can actually draw 5 new cards. There's a 2 Donphans, which is definitely a very good, and a Colress, which can lead me to like 5 or 6 cards, but probably I will just stick with my V-Seeker for Professor's Juniper. I guess that's a definitely better option. So if I want to knock out this Pupkaboo, I will actually need something bigger and something better. Something like a Muscle Band, but I'm not sure if I have Muscle Band in my deck. So I guess I don't need Flareon Eevee. There's a Muscle Band, so I like that. I will discard my Xeracic also. And we'll go with Professor's Juniper for 7. Hopefully I'll be able actually to find Muscle Band and Strong Energy. Alright, no sign of a Muscle Band or even a Strong Energy, but there's a Trainer's Mail for another Robo Substitute. You can always take as many Robo Substitutes as you can. This is going to be just a spinning turn for Pearly 20, and I will just promote my Robo in the empty spot. So that means right now my opponent actually can just knock me out for free prize. He's not going to be able to draw prize if he don't have Lysander sitting in his hand. On the other side, I do have Jirachi in my hand, so that means that I can definitely play Jirachi for something like another Professor's Juniper. Later I can easily remove Jirachi with my AZ, that's for sure. But if I want to knock out that Pupkaboo, I need to find a Muscle Band. So let's see what my opponent can do. Probably I will also search my deck for something like, I'm still thinking about Jolteon or maybe Leafeon. But I guess I will take Jolteon so I can actually knock out that Shane on the bench for the weakness. So there's a puzzle of time. That means that he can actually look at the top 3 cards of his deck, or if he decides to play 2 puzzles at the same time, he can take pretty much any 2 cards from his discard pile. So he decided to take Ultra Ball and Battle Compressor. That Battle Compressor can definitely give him a chance to discard up to 3 more cards from his discard pile. So there's a Starling Megaphone and a Pupkaboo with that Ultra Ball for a Mew. Mew is definitely a good thing. It can help you a lot. It's non-EX. Mu EX is actually a little bit better, so there's a easy for Shaman, and of course Battle Compressor, so you're looking forward to discard some cards that you actually don't need. Right now he has 6 Night Marchers in his discard pile, so he needs just one more Night Marcher in order to be able to one-hit knock out my Donphan, and he decided to discard one more Poop-Kaboo and 2 more Battle Compressors. There's another round of Shaman EX, which will give him 3 additional cards. Fighting Fury Belt, definitely good thing. That means that he can actually survive my rush from my Donphan. There's a Night March for 150. Luckily, that was the Robber Substitute, so he can't take anything, any prize right there. I'm going to play my Donphan. There's a VS Seeker. The question is, what do I want to play right there? First of all, I will go with my Ultra Ball. For that, Jolteon, or maybe Leafeon. But I guess I will take a Jolteon better, just for that Shaman later. But I also have for retreat on my Jolteon, so I guess it's a little bit better. We'll go with my VS Seeker also right there, and we'll take, I guess Colress is a good option, as long as I can find that strong energy I'm looking for. Yep, there's a strong energy, and there is also another Eevee, which I can definitely play. That's right now 60, but that Hypnotoxic Laser is a big deal right there. If I can hit heads, and I can. So I'm going to play my Spinning Turn for 40, and we'll actually retreat to my Robber Substitute. He managed to wake up, so he can definitely keep going on with the Night March. I have 2 Donphans right now on my bench, which is definitely comfortable. I also have another Robber Substitute sitting in my hand, which is also very good. So that means that I can actually just go with my Spinning Turn next turn and knock out my opponent Phantom. I do have my Jolteon in place, so that means that I can also easily knock out his Shaman for 2 prizes on the bench. But I first need to find something like a VS Seeker in order to do that. Oh, so he decided to retreat on a Joltik, and he definitely going forward to knock me out with that Night March. Alright, very interesting. Let's see what the Donphan can give me. First, I will play another Robo and Leafeon for the bench. And I don't need to play anything else. We'll just go with the Spinning Turn for the knockout. That's definitely a big knockout, and will promote my Robo Substitute. I'm going to draw 1 more prize. My opponent already discarded 3 puzzles, so that means that he have just 2 more double Colress energies left. And yeah, pretty much when you lose all of your double Colress energies, you're definitely in a big trouble. What I have in my... I mean, yeah, he can definitely use his Psychic Energies, just regular Psychic Energies, to attack with the Muse. So there's a teammates, he can definitely grab something like a Joltik and maybe a regular Psychic Energy. Probably he run 2 of these. On the other side, I have VS Seeker in my hand, so that means that I have access to my Lysander for 2 prizes over that Shaman. But probably I might be able to do that. But I'm still thinking, is it worth to do that? Or maybe just go straight away to knock out his Mew, because it's his attacker in play. Let's see. I'm not sure what to do. Actually, I can go for that knockout on that Shaman, but I need 1 more strong energy in order to knock him out. So right now I can hit for 60, 120, minus 20 is 100, so I'm short for 10. So he decided to Sky Return, and actually I will promote my Jolteon in the active spot just because I have free retreat. There's a Burbank City Gym. There's another Fanfi for my bench, and I guess I will go with my V-Seeker right there for a huge call res of 7. I need just a Muscle Band or Hypnotoxic Laser even, so I can actually knock out his Shaman right there and drop something like 2 prizes right there. First I will attach one of my energies to my Donphan. We'll go with that spinning turn and we'll retreat down to my Robo. I even didn't need to play that Hypnotoxic Laser, but I actually played just because if N happens, I have less cards to draw. So those Robo substitutes definitely helps a lot in this situation. Also, that Jolteon helps a lot to be able to knock out that Shaman for 2 additional prizes. So he decided to promote his Pupkaboo in the active spot. He still have that Mew on the bench ready to attack. There's another Psychic Energy and a Fighting Fury Belt for the Mew. So right now he can actually go with Professor Sigmar. He can knock out my Robo substitute, but then again he's down to 5 prizes. He's not going to be able to have that many resources in play. I mean, I have also Leafeon ready, who can also hit for 20 times the number of energy attached to all of my opponent Pokemons in play. And even that Leafeon can give me a free knockout over that Joltik on the bench. So there's another Acrobike. And this time he decided to discard his Psychic Energy. Alright, so he managed to find that Dimension Wally. And there's a Muscle Band. Night March for a 190. So I'm going to promote my Donphan. He's definitely ready to attack. And I can even go with my... Oh, very nice. So there is a V-Seeker as a top deck. So first I will go with my Level Ball. I'm going to take... Oh, I will not take that Jirachi actually. I will just play my Ultra Ball right here for N and one of my Fighting Energies for another Donphan. Since I already attached the energy, all I really need is just play my Spinning Turn, knock out his Pupkaboo, and yeah, he pretty much decided to quit because it's pretty much GG.